of gold. I've deleted everything off the chart. So first thing you'll do is go to the weekly time frame. See if you can identify a trend. So something like, if there is one, so remember it's got to be from the wicks. Something like this. I wouldn't usually go off huge wicks because this tends to be from news a lot. So it's always been from the smaller wicks. So say, yeah, that's what I see there. And then the second thing I'd do is drop down to the daily time frame. I'd zoom out a bit, and then I'd look for the highest point it's reached. So this is too recent here, so I probably wouldn't draw one from here. I'd probably go from something from about here, around this one here, where it's reached the highest point. So yeah, that seems to be reasonable. Yeah, so it's reached the highest point here, and obviously if you go back in time, it's roughly around this area as well. So that's the highest point. The second thing I'd do is go from the lowest point. So there's the major resistance, but no, it's broke here, so no, that's not good. So leave that one out. So what I'd do is leave that one out. Yeah, that's not something you want to be doing because it's broke here. So I'd go from the lowest point now, find something on the lower. So you won't find a resistance. So I'd probably go from here where it's respected 3 times. So here, see, respected, respected and respected there. And then I'll see if there's an intra anywhere on the daily. Remember guys, when you're drawing on the daily time frame, it's more of a solid analysis. So it's something that big institutions are looking at, so it's more solid, as whereas the smaller time frames are usually like day traders and things, so it's never usually as solid. But yeah, you can see here it's respected here, it's been respected here, respected there, but then it's obviously broke through, so it's come respecting here again. So this was once a resistance, and then resistance here, and then it's turned it into a support. So yeah, that's a good it's a good support to go from around this level. And then I'll look to see if there's any trend lines as well. So we'll have a look here. So remember, trends have got to be from the wicks, guys, and this looks like a solid trend line here. And it's also got to be touching 3 wicks, remember. 1, 2, 3. So yeah, and just remember as well that anything drawn on the bigger time frame, so from the weekly, daily, and sometimes the 4 hours, more like solid analysis than drawing a trend line, say on the 30 minutes. A trend line on the 30 minutes is more like of a short-term trade. They're never usually as strong. So yeah, when something hits the daily trend, it's usually quite a solid analysis. So it touched here, it touched here, and it touched here. So if it comes back down and touches again, I'll be getting in a long position there. Yeah, then the next thing I'll do, I think that's it for the daily trend. Yeah, that's it for the daily trend, I think. Yeah. So obviously, as you can see, it's been slowly an uptrend, and it still seems to me like it'll be going up. So yeah, I'll drop down to the 4 hour time frame, and this is the time frame I usually take trades from. So we can see on the smaller time frame, on the 4 hour, we've got here, so here, yeah, we could go for something like that. So yeah, it's touched here, just bear with me. So it's touched there, here, it's respected here, and now this is coming into a wedge. Now if I was to take a punt and see which trend would hold up, I'd have said the daily, because remember the daily is more solid, so this is like more of a short-term trend, so I'd say that the daily is the one that will hold up. Now this will be rather interesting, because when it starts to come into this wedge here, if it breaks on the 4 hour and then retests somewhere around this level, it's a very strong buy here, so we're pretty safe, I'd said so. So yeah, obviously it's got to be oversold on the RSI as well when it comes and retests. So for example, this was a solid opportunity here on the daily, where it had come down and retested here because it's oversold on the stock RSI here. I'd always drop down to the smaller time frame, so the 1 hour and 30 minutes, to see rejection. So say if we drop down to the 30 minutes, sometimes I go as low as the 5 minutes and the 15 minutes, but straight away, obviously, as you can see, it was just showing rejection here straight away. I think that might have been caused by news on the 5 minutes. But yeah, that's XAU. I think that's lined up. So if we're going to be taking any intraday trades, I'd usually go from the 1 hour and start drawing some trend, not so much trend lines, but I'd always try find some type of support. So for example, so here, and now it's going to be respecting, I think. You see how it broke through there, which isn't the best, but it's broke through here and respected it again there. If you look back in time on the 1 hour though, it's respected this level quite a bit, so it's respected here. Around that area it's been respected, but it's respected it here, broke through, but then it broke through again and respected it there. And then obviously recently it's been respecting it a lot around this level. And then here again, broke through, respected, broke through, but then respecting it maybe again. That's where it closed on Friday, hit this area. But remember, it's never always solid when you're on the smaller time frames, so the trade's always a bit riskier. I can give you a quick rundown of another pair if you want, and I'll show you quick. So delete all these drawings. Right, this is US dollar CHF. So obviously first thing we'll do again, go to the weekly, see if there's any trend lines, if we can identify anything here. So we've got the wiki here, but remember it's got to be touching 3, so that's not really the best trend. So overall it's a downtrend anyway. Could draw something like this maybe. Something around this here. So yeah, we'll drop to the daily. Now what do we do next? We always find the support and the resistance levels. So as I'm looking here, we don't go too far back though, just around this area will be fine. So this is the highest point it's reached here. Remember, this has got to be from the body of the candle on support and resistance and intras. With the trend, it's always on the wicks. So yeah, that's the highest point it's reached, so that's the resistance. And now we'll find the support level. So the lowest point it's reached. Just let it load up. Right, I'm going to go from this level actually with this, because this is the daily, so it's not too recent. This was in December, so that was where it respected. Now it's loaded up, we'll go back. We'll see if it's respected that level at any time. No, it's not. But yeah, I'll probably just be interested in this level and see how it reacts when it comes down to it. So again, we'll find an entry. So somewhere where it's respected. So for example, here. Right. So yeah, this is very interesting. Right, this was a resistance here. Come along. It was a resistance here. It's broke the resistance. And then now it's turned it into a support, as you can see here. Support here, support here. It's broke again, but now it's turned it back into a resistance. You see? Resistance again. So now what we do is wait until it comes back to this resistance level. But remember that there's always more. You can always maybe find more levels like this. But don't always go looking for something that isn't actually there. So for example, that's another level of interest here. See, same again. Respected, broke. Not the best here, but respected it here, respected it here. Come along, respected it here, broke through, respected, now as a resistance. Broke a little bit, but respected again as a resistance. And now I'd expect it to respect it again. So yeah, so now what we can do is see if there's any trends on the daily. There. Yeah, I think that's reasonable. Yeah, that's pretty reasonable. So yeah, I dropped down to the 4-hour time frame. So yeah, we'll wait till it comes back to this level here. Wait till it comes back to this level. Hopefully it's overbought on the stock RSI, because the 4-hour time frame's what I trade from mainly. Now you got to remember, this is a daily trend, so we're in an overall downtrend here. So this is pretty interesting. As soon as it comes to this level, we'll get in the short. Sometimes, guys, there's not always trades. So there's not always trades. You just got to be patient, because I prefer to not put my money on something that isn't solid. Now, on the 4-hour, you can always look to see if there's any levels like intras and things like that. Supports, resistance on the 4-hour as well. Somewhere it showed respect. So, for example, this level's a little bit of an area of interest here. So here, it's respected it, broke, but it's broke again and respected it here. So maybe it'll respect it, but again, we're coming into a wedge zone. So I'll have to see how it reacts when it gets there. It's not really the strongest though, because it's broke here and it's not really respected it there. But we'll see how it reacts when it comes to it. Remember, it's always got to be either oversold if you want to go long, and if you want to go short, it's always got to be overbought on here on the stock RSI. It's a 3314 as well. So yeah, that's how I analyze the charts. You could always find a trend line as well on the 4-hour. So yeah, there's nothing there. I'd always to be looking to short this pair really, because we're in an overall downtrend. So I'd always be looking to short this pair really. Anytime we hit the weekly, we'll get into a swing trade. So that's meaning holding the trade for like, you know, could be up to a week. It all depends. Like if it's, you know, because when it hits a point like this, we could have shorted and we could have just rode the wave all the way down, and that would have bagged us like. So if we rode it all the way down here, it could have got like 600 pips, and that's a hell of a lot of money. So yeah, we could ride it all the way down, and that's the whole point in a swing trade. Like when it's anything like the daily trends and the weekly trends, it's quite solid. Anything on the lower time frame isn't as solid. But yeah, I usually use the smaller time frames for check for rejection. So for example, in this area here, and I wanted to go short, it's not showing overbought on the stock RSI though, so it's not really that solid. But if we drop down to the 1 hour, because this is what I do all the time, drop down to the smaller time frames, and then I'd zoom back out, find where we are. So we're at this level here. Now remember, we're only aiming for about 40 pips, and we're going to go a stop loss of 20 pips. So for example, if we go 20 pip stop here, hold on, short position. Remember, I mentioned in my last video, it's quite a good tool to use, this is, because it tells you there. So 20 pips stop loss there, and then we'll go long. We want to short it for 40 pips, so that's a 2-to-1 risk reward. So yeah, getting back to the point now, this is what I'd do. I'd drop down to the smaller time frame when I see it approaching this area, and the smaller time frames always to check for rejection. So you see here there's a wick, it showed rejection straight away. I drop down right to the smaller time frames here. Now as you can see on the 15 minutes it showed rejection, the candles open below the daily trend, and then even if you look on the 5 minutes it should be showing quite a lot of rejection. So if I just delete this out the way so it don't get in your way, as you can see here, rejecting here. So yeah, that was actually quite a good short position, and we would have hit a 40 pips target off that. You see, big drop. So yeah, that's everything really. I think that's everything. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed the video, and just drop me a message if you have any questions, guys. Thanks.